Staub gets the job done.
Thompson quickly breaking back. He makes a catch. And the pitch a curve, and that's the ball game.
You're looking at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, home of the Philadelphia Phillies. In just a few moments, the Phillies will take on the Mets in the third of this four-game series. A nice night for a ball game here at the Vet, and we want to welcome you to Sportschannel's telecast of New York Met baseball. I'm Fran Healy, along with Ralph Kiner, and the pitching.
Ralph's here in spirit.
Let me tell you something. I'm with really rusty Staub. Ralph is with us, but he's on assignment tonight. Anyway, the pitching matchup in tonight's ball game for the Philadelphia Phillies. He was a big prospect at one time with the New York Mets, David West.
Well, David West has thrown the ball extremely well in spots this year. You see him taking his warm-up tosses right now. In 7 of the 13 starts he's had, he's given up 3 hits or less. And he's a big guy. He's throwing it hard, and he's got a good hard breaking ball and has been extremely tough on the left-handed hitters.
He really never panned out as far as the Mets are concerned, and he's never lived up to expectations in the major leagues. Never really had that big year, although the Phillies are high on him, and opponents are struggling as far as batting average is concerned against David West. On the other side of the field, a guy with real good stuff and throws an awful lot of strikes.
We'll probably set the all-time record for the ratio of walks to strikeouts, walks to innings pitched, you name it. Brett Saberhagen has had a spectacular year. If it wasn't for Greg Maddux, I think especially with the 14 wins, if he's got 15 wins with this ball club, you can imagine the kind of job he's been doing. He should have 2 or 3 more wins, but I guess every pitcher feels that that's the way it could break for him. Brett Saberhagen has just been magnificent this entire season.
And a guy who's played very, very well for the Mets so far this year, not in the lineup tonight because of David West, and that's Rico Brogna.
Well, Rico Brogna, they finally got his, they broke his hitting streak at 15 games last night. He's been spectacular in this early going. The Mets have to be excited about what the future is for Rico.
Well, once again, I'm Fran Healy, and this is Le Grand Orange Rusty Staub. Ralph Kiner on his
Ralph's still on the 18th.
Yes, he is, and I'm sure having a great time. Stay with us. When we come back, we'll give you the starting lineup.
New York Mets baseball is brought to you by Bud Light. If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light. Buy your local Sherwin-Williams paint stores. The pros know. Ask Sherwin-Williams, an official sponsor of Major League Baseball. Buy Nobody Beats the Wiz. For state-of-the-art home electronics, computers, cameras, music, movies, and more, nobody beats the Wiz. By Chemical Bank. Expect more from us. And by MCI.
Well, back here at the Vet in Philadelphia. Great sports town, this Philadelphia. Once again, I'm Fran Healy with Dusty Staub. How about that? How about that sign right there? These guys are ready for those Eagles here in Philadelphia. But there's some baseball to be played tonight and tomorrow night, and you never know after that. Although that black cloud is still hovering over all the baseball stadiums in the United States. David West taking his warm-up tosses, and the Mets lineup is brought to you by Continental Airlines. Leading off for the New York Mets will be Jose Vizcaino. He'll be followed by Todd Hundley and then Jim Lindemann. The middle 3, Bobby Bonilla, Jeff Kent, and David Segui. The bottom 3, Ryan Thompson, Jeremy Burnitz, and then Brett Saberhagen.
And the pitching stats are brought to you by Shell, the best-selling gasoline in the world. David West, the 4-9 record, a 3.55 earned run average. Game number 31. It's also his 14th start of the season. In 91 1/3 innings pitched, he has given up only 67 hits, but he's walked 60 and struck out 78.
And a defense for the Phillies. Kruk, Morandini, Stocker, and Duncan in the infield. Left to right in the outfield, Longmire, Dykstra, and Eisenreich. Lieberthal behind the plate. So David West will pitch to Jose Vizcaino. West with a 4-7 record. Vizcaino batting .257, 3 home runs, 33 RBIs. He pops the first pitch up to the right side. Foul territory. And Morandini going over and making the grab. John Kruk was in pursuit of that ball, but If he was the only one out there, that ball was going to fall in. I'm telling you right now.
He was giving it a run, though.
Yes, he did.
His future is very questionable here in Philadelphia. He's had a lot of injuries, a lot of physical problems. People like him. You know, he's one of those gamer-type guys that's fun to be around, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens with his career here.
And Todd Hundley takes ball one from David West. Hundley in his third year in the major leagues right now, batting .239, 16 home runs, 42 RBIs, and he takes up high 2-0. Top of the first inning, you're watching Mets baseball on Sports Channel. The Mets and the Phillies, second last game of the season, maybe. Fouled back. 2-1.
Are you a little bit surprised that Kelly Stinnett is not getting the start against the left-hander?
Yes. Two and one on Todd Hundley. Foul tip. 2-2. I'm not so sure Todd Hundley's ever gotten a full shot at playing every day in the major leagues. When he first came up, he was platoon. Last year didn't play every day.
This has got to be the 1 year he's had more time than any other time.
And wasn't supposed to. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Todd, down low. 3-2. Todd was not supposed to start, and he did opening day and hit a home run against the Cubs at Wrigley Field in Chicago.
This is his 90th game of the season. Mets have played 111. It's number 112.
He fouls that pitch out of play. Well, if the season went through September, Todd Hundley has a real good chance of hitting 20 or more home runs. Not bad for a catcher. David West, mentioned in the opening that he was a big prospect. Back in 1989, he was traded away from the Mets with 4 other players for Frank Viola. Only fouls another fastball back. 3-2. Kevin Tapperty and Rick Aguilera, 2 of the guys along with David West going to the Minnesota Twins. Tim Drummond and Jack Savage also involved in that trade. 3-2 pitch. High chopper. Duncan to Krupp in time. 2 down.
Duncan very aggressive on that ball. No chances. Got to it in a hurry. Got rid of it in a hurry.
And 2 men down. The batter will be Jim Lindemann. David West's best record in the major leagues. 3-2 with Minnesota in 1989. Mets were looking for big things from him as Lindemann pulls the ball foul. At one time he was an untouchable.
Lindemann a couple of hits in the first game of this series. Hit a deep home run into the seats in dead center field. So had a double in that ball game.
Lindemann played some baseball here with the Phillies. Came up with the Cardinals. And the 0-1 pitch to Lindemann. Outside. 1-1. David West has been very tough on left-handers.
That's as much the reason why Rico Brogna is on the bench as any.
As Lindemann takes down low. 2-1.
Left-handed hitters only 9 hits and 61 at-bats against West. Comes out to a 148 average for the league against the Philly pitcher.
League is hitting 202 overall against him. It's the best in a Philly club. But when you come right down to it, the only thing that matters, wins and losses. He's 4-9 on the year. Up high, 3-1.
Well, the thing that has killed him, as we gave you the stats earlier, in 91 and the third innings coming into this game, he has walked 60 people. That's too many.
Lindemann hits this ball up in the air in foul territory. It'll drift into the crowd, not a play. So we'll do it again. At 3-2. Two-minute gone here in the first inning.
Wins and losses didn't help Jack Morris. 10-6.
There was more to it than that. He was not. They said he was spending time at his ranch in Montana on the off to when he wasn't pitching.
When he wasn't with the team.
Popped up in foul territory. John Kruk under it, and it makes the grab for out number 3. So that'll do it for the Mets here in the first. They go down 1-2-3 to go to the bottom of the first on Mobile scoreboard. No score. The Mets and the Phillies.
August on Sportschannel is red hot. The Mets battle the surging Astros, Justice and the Braves, the Expos, Cubs, and more. Pro tennis heats up with the Hamlet Cup. Plus, the tour's best women duel in the Canadian Open. Hoop it up on our fast-paced 3-on-3 tournament. Special athletes meet the challenge. Special Olympics, the spirit of champions. Make reservations to join Rusty Staub at the plate. Summer Racing 94 features the cane pace. It's all for you in August on Sportschannel.
Some of the fans here at the Vet in Philadelphia, they want to play. They want baseball to be played August 12th. Fast approaching. With that in mind, we got to get this lineup in. Brought to you by your Tri-State Ford dealers. It'll be Lenny Dykstra, Mariano Duncan, and Jim Eisenreich. The middle three, John Kruk, Tony Longmire, and Mickey Morandini. The bottom three, Mike Lieberthal, Kevin Stocker, and then David West.
Again, the pitching stats are brought to you by Shell, the best-selling gasoline in the world. 13-4 with a 2.81 earned run average. 24th game for saves. 170 innings pitched, 163 hits given up. Walked only 12 batters and struck out 137.
And Lenny Dykstra, who's batting .280, leads it off. He has 5 home runs and 21 RBIs, and Dykstra pops the first pitch up. Easy play for Bobby Bowe in foul territory. 1 down. And the defense for the Mets. Segui, Kent, Vizcaino, and Bonilla in the infield. Left to right in the outfield. Lindemann, Thompson, and Burnitz. Hundley behind the plate. Brett Saberhagen was named the pitcher of the month for the month of July. 4-0 during the month of July. Here's a look at Mariano Duncan. He's batting .269, 8 home runs, 48 RBIs. First game in here against the Mets. He had a tough night. And right there, he takes a strike. In fact, he struck out 4 times in that ball game.
Golden sombrero. They're tough to find.
Something you don't want to wear.
Boy, you got that right.
He fouls that pitch out of play. 0-2. Talking about pitcher of the month, Brett Saberhagen won it for his 5th time during his career. Imagine if he had consistently been healthy throughout his career.
You can't change that. Certainly when he's healthy, he's been as tough as anybody in baseball ever.
As Duncan fouls that breaking ball off, it's 0-2. 1 man gone here in the bottom of the first inning. The Phillies and the Mets. We're watching all the action on Sportschannel. Fran Healy with Rusty Staub. Ralph Kiner on assignment tonight. He'll be back with us tomorrow. Breaking ball is up high.
He doesn't use that pitch very often. That was a sidearm breaking ball. A little semi-Laredo job.
And the 1-2 pitch. Swung at and missed. Strike 3, 2 down.
This is an over-the-top curveball, which is just a very good pitch. It's the one that Mariano Duncan struggled with in Game 1 in this series when he struck out those 4 times. He goes fishing for that pitch all the time.
Batter now, Jim Eisenreich. batting .296, 4 home runs, 42 RBIs. First pitch he hits into the gap in left center field, but Lindeman's over and makes the grab for out number 3. So the Phillies go down 1-2-3 here in the first on the Modell scoreboard. We've played one here at the vet. No score, the Mets and the Phillies. Well, folks, if the baseball season is halted by a player's strike, Sportschannel will bring you the inside scoop with the latest news from across the major leagues. It's Sportschannel's Strike Special, Diamond in the Rough. Catch 2 hours of strike coverage that any baseball fan will not want to miss. Friday at 8, only on Sportschannel. That's Friday night at 8 p.m. right here on Sportschannel. Donald Fear will be with us for that show as Bobby Bonilla steps in and swings to a fastball. 0-1, waiting for word from Mr. Dick Ravitch. Rich Levin of his office today said it looks good that Dick might be able to make the show, so should be a very interesting show. Bobby Bonilla takes outside, 1-1. That show will be carried on all the Sportschannel regional networks. And the 1-1 pitch to Bobby Ball outside, 2-1. Bonilla batting .290, 20 dingers, 66 RBIs.
And not only will it be Francis Xavier and myself, there'll be other Sports Channel announcers from across the country joining in with us.
Oh, yes, all over the country. Should be an interesting show. Hopefully we won't have to air a show like that. Maybe somebody will find common ground.
Right now, the only thing they have is a neutral ground.
Neutral is right. Two and two on Bobby Ball. Breaking ball, and Bobby Bonilla strikes out. So Bobby swinging over that curveball.
David West. Good pitch breaking out of the strike zone. You got to stay on that ball. If you're trying to do too much with it, watch his head and his shoulder. Watch it. It's off. You got no chance then.
That was strikeout number 100 for Bobby Bonilla on the season. David West now will face Jeff Kent. Takes down low, a fastball, ball 1. Kent batting .289, 14 home runs, 67 RBIs. Jeff has struck out 83 times this year.
That was Bobby Bo's century mark for this year.
And Kent takes a strike, 1-1.
Number 100. I know it's important to hit home runs and drive runs in. You got to bear that in mind. But could you imagine if you just put half of those balls in play? What it would mean to you as a player. 50 more times.
1-1 pitch. There's a line drive base hit into center field. So Jeff Kent picking up the first hit of the ball game.
Goes for everybody. It really means when you get the 2 strikes, you adjust your hitting. I know Ralph, Fran and I have talked about this a lot. Probably, I think the greatest hitter that I ever saw play was Ted Williams, and if he's going to choke up with 2 strikes, I think the world can choke up with 2 strikes. Put the ball in play. There's a time and a place for trying to hit the long ball.
And David Segui will try it right now, batting .239, and he swings at a fastball. Strike 1. Segui with 10 home runs, 43 RBIs.
It is so difficult to convince hitters that you don't have to swing at 100% of your strength to hit the ball out of the ballpark. I'd say most of the great home run hitters probably are at about 80%. It's a controlled swing. Good hand, rush that ball through the strike zone. Or rush the bat through, pardon me.
The 0-1 pitch, and it's a breaking ball for a strike. 0-2. And players are much bigger and stronger today than they've ever been. For example, Segui, 6'1", over 200 pounds. All he has to do is get the head of the bat on the ball. Two on David Segui. 1 man out. Swung on and missed. That'll do it for Segui. 2 down.
Well, he's got 2 strikes. This is going to be a fastball. Watch his hands. He's on the bottom of the bat, and he's late. The ball is by him.
Ball beat him.
How many times do you have to be unsuccessful to change a little bit?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe adjust.
Well, here's an example right here. Dallas Green looking out at Ryan Thompson. Ryan is driving Dallas and Tom McCraw crazy as he pulls the first pitch foul. He has 18 home runs, 59 RBIs. With his speed, if he put the ball in play more often, it's got to mean 30 points, 40 points to his average.
He has 91 strikeouts on this season.
And this guy is strong. He's fast. It's amazing that with 2 strikes, he can't try to just put the head of the bat on the ball. He's a fine athlete. It's fooled by a curveball right there, 0-2.
Well, we're going to get a chance to find out. He hasn't done it much during the course of the year. I don't expect to see it here.
Well, let's see if he just tries to adjust his swing, or everything will remain the same now if Ryan does what he's been doing all year. The 0-2 pitch. Up high. 1-2.
Went for the backdoor breaking ball. That was almost too good a pitch for that point in the count. You know he wants him to chase that breaking ball down and in. But West is not afraid to try to pump it by you upstairs either.
And the 1-2 pitch. Fouled out of play. Now that was a good pitch right there for Ryan Thompson to hit the other way. Fastball has, from a left-hander, a natural tailing away from a right-handed hitter.
Here's the pitch. Watch it. Out over the plate. Just beat him with that. He's behind it.
Ryan's going to have to lock that front shoulder in a little bit longer to become a better 2-strike hitter. 1-2 on Ryan Thompson. He drives this ball, but foul. So we'll do it again at 1-2. Ryan Thompson with 73 hits this season. We mentioned how difficult David West has been to hit for National League batters. There's a drive to center field. Dykstra in pursuit, and makes the play. Lenny Dykstra with a fine play, taking an extra base hit away from Ryan Thompson. And on the Sherwin-Williams scoreboard, we've played 1.5 here at the Bet. No score of the Mets and the Phillies.
Sherwin-Williams.
Sherwin-Williams presents the Steal of the Week. Put a stop to ugly cracks and seams with Sherwin-Williams acrylic latex caulk. Our 10-year warranty caulk is only 99 cents a tube. Strip away old paint, varnish, and stain with Bic Spray-On Stripper. It's a steal at only $13.99 a gallon. If it's a steal of a deal, it's only one place.
Sherwin-Williams.
Sportschannel is proud to present the 6th consecutive season of our summer racing series from Yonkers, featuring some of the sport's biggest races. Catch Summer Racing 94 live from Yonkers, Saturday night at 10, only on Sportschannel.
Well, here at the Vet, we've played 1.5, and on the Sherwin-Williams scoreboard, no score of the Mets and the Phillies. Very popular John Kruk comes to the plate to face Brett Saberhagen. Kruk batting .302, 5 home runs, 38 RBIs. Fouls the first fastball off. 0-1. Plus, you're talking about how popular John Kruk was, or is, and yet he might leave. That was unheard of years ago. If a guy was a good guy for a team, a hard-nosed player like John Kruk, popular with the fans, money's the key. The 0-1 pitch, and Kruk takes a strike. 0-2.
Whether or not the player is worth the money you're paying.
There's a fly ball to left field. Vizcaino going way out, way out. Ball dropped in front of Lindemann. And Kruk hustling in at second base with a double. A lot of hang time with that ball. Vizcaino went a long way out there, but couldn't catch up with it.
Well, that's one of those things where that ball cannot be a base hit. The ball cannot fall. Check John Kruk. He hits it. He thinks he's out. Now he's looking. He says, well, I'm going to run this out a little bit. Then he's going to see it fall in. Now he's going to kick it in. And that ball is up in the air much too long for it not to be caught. Somebody's not in the right position or made a bad move or something.
And Tony Longmire takes a strike, 0-1. Longmire with a .237 batting average, no home runs, 17 RBIs. Good breaking ball. You could see Longmire fooled completely. His hands collapsed. Once the hands collapse, you hope it's not a strike.
Longmire has to have in his head, I want to pull this pitch if I can.
He's not pulling anything right there. Strike 3 to Tony Longmire.
That was more like an overmatch.
So Longmire's out. The batter now would be Mickey Morandini. Morandini batting .294, 2 home runs, 26 RBIs.
Here's the one where the hands collapse on the breaking ball. And here's the fastball. I mean, that's kind of right down Broadway, about knee high.
You rarely see the hands collapse on a fastball. It usually only happens on a breaking ball. When he took that last strike, his hands did not collapse. He was just overmatched.
And it's usually because you have moved already or lunged as it is turned, and your foot has hit the ground and your hands stop.
Morandini hits a Baltimore chop. Phenia has to hold the ball, wisely does it, because Morandini smelled the base hit. He was touching first base when the ball was in Phenia's glove.
Well, there's good hitting and there's smart hitting. And there's lucky hitting. Morandini has really changed as the hitter. He's the kind of guy that used to be from the handle trying to whale, like we've talked about, and Fregosi took him out of the lineup and said, if you're going to swing like that, you're not going to play here. And he adjusted, chokes up on the bat, slaps the ball around now.
Lieberthal puts the ball in play. Vizcaino goes to second for 1. They get the 4s. Lieberthal with decent speed on at first. So the Phillies have runners on first and third with 2 men out here in the bottom of the second inning.
Kevin Stocker. Again, when you get guys that are really not going to hit 25 to 30 home runs or drive in 100, it's hard to understand why they don't try to have a little more bat control. They've gotten through to Morandini. They've also gotten through to Kevin Stocker.
Well, Stocker was not a good hitter in the minor leagues, but he's done well since being called up last season. Right now, he's batting .279. Now, that's a nasty fastball right there. How about the ball movement on that pitch?
That was a great fastball.
Breaking ball. Nice play by Hundley with the runner on third base. Hundley keeping the ball in front of him, close enough with a runner on first, can't advance.
You also have to keep in mind that David West is the next hitter. He's only had 2 hits in 25 at-bats this year. So if Saberhagen wants to, he can just pitch around Stocker.
Oh, sure. Open base, second base. And the 1-1 pitch. There's a fly ball, center field. Ryan Thompson's there, makes the grab for out number 3. So that'll do it for the Phillies here in the bottom of the second inning. They strand runners on the corners, and on the Modell scoreboard, we played 2. No score, the Mets and the Phillies.
Discover the defensive training secrets of America's finest baseball school in an exciting videotape Baseball World's Defensive Drills video features professional scout and instructor Tommy Mansky and the same revolutionary new training techniques that have produced Baseball World's back-to-back-to-back AAU National Championship teams. The Defensive Drills video vastly improves players' arm strength, running speed, quickness, agility, and infield and outfield defensive skills. Even coaches practice organization. Lou Pavlovich Jr., editor of Collegiate Baseball magazine, calls it a masterpiece, the best defensive drill video ever produced. Many professional players are excited about this videotape. Just ask Atlanta Braves superstar Fred McGriff.
This is the instructional video that gets results.
Baseball World's Defensive Drills video makes a great gift and benefits players of all ages and ability levels. To order your copy for only $29.95, have your credit card ready and call toll-free 1-800-322-2700. That's 1-800-322-2700.
It really worked for me.
In August, 2 great reasons to watch tennis on Sportschannel. The Pro Tour's finest women clash in the Canadian Open. Chang and Edberg highlight a field of men's stars battling for the Hamlet Cup. It's all here in August on Sportschannel.
And now it's time for the league leaders. They're brought to you by the U.S. Postal Service. Leaders, National League pitchers in walks. Darryl Kyle leading the pack with 82. He's got good stuff. Tom Glavine, that's the surprise, 69. Pat Rappin, then David West, and David West just started. He became a starting pitcher just a couple months ago.
That's why he has that 4-9 record. You can bet on it.
Jeremy Burnett pulls this ball foul.
Checking his bat.
Sounded like it broke, didn't it?
Yeah. Mets 14 wins, 10 losses since the All-Star break.
0-1 on Jeremy Burnett. He'll be followed by Brett Saberhagen and then Jose Vizcaino. West misses way up high, 1-1. Well, you look at a guy like David West, if he could throw strikes consistently, he's got to be a big winner. He misses again, so he's in the hole, 2-1.
Well, he did lose some weight. As big as he is, he's lost weight. He did go into a fitness program and really trained hard last winter. And it has affected his fastball tremendously. He has really thrown the ball as hard as he's ever thrown it.
And the 2-1 pitch. Swung and a miss, 2-2. Yeah, David does look like he lost some weight.
You're tough on guys, aren't you?
Don't start.
Just really bury anybody that's got a little bit of heftiness to it.
2-2 pitch. Strike 3 to Jeremy Burnett. 1 down.
Third strikeout for David West. Coming right at him. Good hard fastball, knee high.
Well, he must be nasty on left-handers. I told you about the batting average, but he's, as far as batting average is concerned, the National League is only batting 200 against him. Here's Brett Saberhagen, and he loops the ball towards right field, but they had him play perfectly. Jim Eisenreich makes the grab. 2 down.
That's the opposite fielder with a pitcher at the plate. He had him shifted way over and played him way in. If you're playing him deep, that's a base hit.
At one time, they never had the graphs they have today that you can go in and study the tendencies of hitters. It used to be up to the catcher, maybe a coach. The catcher, you know, maybe want a little air time so he'd stand out in front of home plate and move the outfielders around. Nobody'd listen to him.
Then they get in the dugout and they start grappling. Don't you be telling me what to do.
See, they're charting pitches and charting where the ball's hit here at the vet. Jose Vizcaino takes a strike. I saw an incident one day where Nolan Ryan was pitching and he wanted to move Mickey Rivers, who was playing with the California Angels, and Mickey wouldn't move. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Good curveball, a nasty pitch. It's 0-2. Dick Williams had to go out to the mound to make Mickey Rivers move. What a scene that was. Now they do it all by charts. You better move.
Well, with all the charts, it's shocking how many outfields don't adjust to situations, counts, weather, ballpark conditions.
Well, for example, here, you have a 1 and 2 count on a hitter. He's really not going to be taking a big swing with 2 strikes. Check out the outfield, find out how deep they're playing. Now he misses outside. It's 2 and 2.
Relatively deep in the outfield. Even the opposite outfielder, Eisenreich, who had come in on the pitcher.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. Down low, 3 and 2. With 2 strikes and a contact hitter at the plate, he's going to try to put the bat in the ball. He's not going to try to drive the ball, especially when he's in the hole.
You would think so.
So therefore, you don't have to play as deep. They have them bunched in the gaps. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Foul out of play. That's a big swing.
That was a nice, easy, make contact swing.
Yeah.
Looked like he was trying to hit it over the whole stadium.
Of course, 3 and 2 now. He feels, you know, he's going to get this fastball. He's up on the count, so he's taking a bigger swing. But there are certain guys with 2 strikes over the years. You don't want them to get the 2 strikes because they're tougher hitters. Here's a 3-2 pitch. And it's popped up to the right side. Morandini drifting back and making a grab for round number 3. So that'll do it for the Mets. And on the Nobel scoreboard, after 2.5, there's no score. The Mets and the Phillies. Well, folks, this copyrighted telecast is authorized under television rights granted by the New York Mets solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the New York Mets and Sportschannel is prohibited. Philly fanatic doing his thing in the stands.
That's not really the fanatic, I don't think. That's like
The baby.
the baby fanatic.
So they're reproducing down here at a rapid rate, the Philly fanatic and his family. David West is leading off, takes a strike. 0-1. We're in the bottom of the 3rd inning here at the vet. And David West fouls the ball off. 0-2. David West will be followed by Lenny Dykstra and then Mariano Duncan. West hits the ball off the end of the bat. Burnett's coming in and making the grab, 1 down. Watching all the action here on Sportschannel tonight. Fran Healy with Ralph Kiner. They had Rusty Staub. Well, Ralph's on assignment tonight. Hope you're enjoying the telecast. We hope it's not the second last game of the season for the Mets, but it might be. There's Mr. Kiner sitting right next to me. I'll never live that down from Rusty. And Lenny Dykstra takes a strike. Lenny popped out his first time up. Ralph will be back with us tomorrow night.
Lenny 3 hits in the ball game last night.
There's a strike, 0-2.
And he has handled the Mets well. Coming into tonight's action, 11 for 26. It's a 423 clip.
He's been to bat only 308 times so far this year. He's had some physical problems. He plays the game hard. Did he check the swing? Yes, he did. 1-2. Third base umpire, Greg Bonet. Lenny with 15 stolen bases, had 2 in last night's game. Hitting well against the Mets this season, 11 for 26. Stays alive with a defensive swing. Well, the trade was made a few years back. Lenny Dykstra for Juan Samuel. Davey Johnson, the then manager of the Mets, didn't think Lenny would be able to play every day.
Roger McDowell, too.
Yeah, Roger McDowell was involved. Up high, 2-2. At the time, the trade was not criticized. As time moved along, it was severely criticized.
I'd say that's an understatement.
2-2 pitch. Dykstra pops the ball up into shallow left field. Vizcaíno makes the grab. 2 down. Lenny is just as, maybe even more popular here in Philadelphia than he was in New York. And he was extremely popular in New York.
Let's take a look at Lenny as he gets underneath the ball and pops it up. Throw the bat, slipped out of his hand, almost ran over it. Either way, he's out.
So 2 men are gone. And batter now, Mariano Duncan. He takes down low ball 1. Duncan struck out his first time up.
And a picture in the dugout was Kurt Schilling, who pitched so well last night. In fact, that's the first time he has won a game here in the vet since the World Series last year. He was probably the top pitcher on the staff between injuries and struggles. It's been an amazing year for him.
Ground ball to Kent. Makes the throw to first. That'll do it for the Phillies. 3 up, 3 down on the Modell scoreboard after 3 here at the vet. No score in New York and the Phillies.
Mets baseball is brought to you in part by RCA Color Track 2000 Home Theater TV. RCA, changing entertainment again. By your Tri-State GMC truck dealers. And by Gillette Sensor and the Gillette Series. Gillette, the best a man can get.
Well, fans, listen to WCBS FM 101.1, New York's oldies station. Tomorrow morning at 6:45 during the Sports Report with Phil Pepe, you'll have a chance to play Mets trivia and win 4 tickets to an upcoming Mets game. Here at the vet, Todd Hundley facing David West. Ground ball foul for strike 1. Todd grounded out to third baseman Mariano Duncan in his first at bat. 0 for 5 in this series against Philadelphia. One more game tomorrow night here. And as Francis Xavier has told you, looks like there is going to be a definite work stoppage. A ball on a strike to Hundley. Fly ball high, but not deep enough. Dykstra calling for it. 1 down. Fans, while we have this break in action, it ought to be a great time to break for the great taste of Bud Light. It's a big hit with fans everywhere. It won't fill you up, and it never lets you down. So make it a Bud Light. Lindemann popped up in foul territory in the initial at bat, facing David West for the second time. Not sure what they called that one. I guess a ball. Frank Pulley gave a little bit of a shrug. It usually gives you that karate chop when it's a strike. Watching. And excuse me, foul ball down the right field side.
Years ago, the umpire would just, call out strike or ball, have the signal for a strike. Now they kind of dramatize that strike, and it's great when you're hitting. You're in a slump. You're about 0 for 12. All of a sudden, the guy throws you a nasty slider in the black. You know you can't hit it. You turn around, and here's this umpire dancing behind the catcher. Just what you want to see.
Well, Pulley's a good umpire, and he's got his own way of going about it. And it's interesting. It's almost like a karate chop when he calls that. I can't believe he hasn't hit a catcher in the head yet. Fastball way off the plate. That's what you call a waste pitch. Fouled off, out of play. Count is 2-2.
There was an umpire in the American League that used to say, take a hike, as he called you out on the third strike. As a catcher, you would hear it clearly. The hitter wouldn't hear it.
I wouldn't have handled that well.
Take a hike.
I wouldn't have handled that well at all. I'd have been ejected out of a couple of ball games. I only got ejected in 2 in my entire career. Pop up again to the right side. This will be the second time if Kruk gets it, and he does. He makes a nice play.
Boy, that was a real good play by John Kruk. The key to that was he got over by the tarp, so he was able to feel his way. I guess he didn't feel it that well because he's limping back. Here he is. He's over by the tarp. Now he gets the feel, and he's able to reach over and make the grab.
As they said, the drifters were a good group. But if you drift after the ball as an outfielder or an infielder in those situations, you're going to get in trouble.
You see Kruk get over there, was able to put his hand on the tarp and extend himself.
It brings up Bobby Bowe with 2 down. Strike called. Neither team with a run yet. Top of the 4th. Phillies with 2 hits. The Mets with 1. Jeff Kent hit a hard line drive to center field for the only hit so far for the Mets. Curveball, and there's that karate chop. Phenia laughing, but he didn't believe that was a strike. They won it outside and down. Strike 3 called. Bobby cannot reach that ball. He just can't do it. That's the 4th strikeout for David West on the Modell scoreboard after 3.5. No score. We'll be back.
Ends the 3rd Coca-Cola Fireworks Spectacular is Saturday, August 20th. The Carucci family will put on their incredible international show after the 8:05 Mets-Cubs game, and it's a show you won't want to miss. For ticket information, call 718-507-TIXX during business hours. A per-ticket service charge applies, and be sure to ask about the new theme park now open, Nickelodeon Extreme Baseball at Shea.
Now batting for the first time at Shea Stadium, it's
you! Get ready to play Nickelodeon Extreme Baseball at Shea. Face the awesome challenge of the 3-story Guts Baseball Diamond. Get gacked, get slimed, then journey into the halls of baseball legends on the Shea Stadium Tour. Open every day this summer. It's Major League games, live Nickelodeon shows, and an upbringing slime for the whole family. For tickets, call Shea Stadium now at 718-507-TIXX and get ready to play Shea!
The Mets and the Phillies tomorrow night at 7:30. Don't miss Francis Xavier at 7:15 with the Mets on deck, live and exclusive, right here on Sportschannel. Saberhagen, fastball up and out of the strike zone. Jim Eisenreich, ball 1. It's only the 6th ball. That was thrown by Saberhagen. There's a strike, and it's lined to left. And Eisenreich is the leadoff single.
Here in Philadelphia before the game tonight, Joe McElvain, general manager of the New York Mets, met with the players, a team meeting, to talk about the do's and the don'ts.
And the logistical things, you know, that they have to know.
Ed Lynch is down here with Joe, John Barr, Mike Ryan, Vice President of Broadcasting down here, David Howard.
Line drive, center field, Thompson going back. He makes the play, hits the wall, gets the ball in a hurry. Eisenreich, who was right at second, turns around and gets back to first. Nice play by Thompson.
Here's a guy just out running the baseball. This guy can go get him. Ryan Thompson taking an extra base hit away from John Kruk. This ball was hit hard and deep. And it's a fine play by Ryan Thompson.
And God bless those padded walls they have in the major leagues now. Some of the fences in the old days could really injure you. You could not approach them very hard, or you would be in real jeopardy of an injury. Bat breaks in half. Coming hard is Burnitz, right at the wall. He makes the play. You want to talk about getting sawed off.
And Burnitz ran a long way for that ball. We just saw Ryan Thompson run a long way to take an extra base hit away from John Kruk. As you see the bat just explode. And here comes Burnitz, and he makes the grab.
All he had left in his hand was a pass-on baton. They would in one of the relays. I guess if he got the first in a hurry, could have handed it to Eisenreich. Morandini, the hitter. Quick throw by Saberhagen.
You know, there are a few things you don't want to do as a hitter. Number one, you don't want to strike out. The other thing you don't want to do is allow an opposing pitcher to break your bat. They never forget it.
The ball fouled off out of play.
If you join the same team that pitcher's on 25 years from today, that pitcher will remind you he broke your back.
Especially if he sawed you off in half. Larry Bowen, the third base coach, with his signs. Can't do him any good right now. Hard ground ball, but foul. So Eisenreich still at first, 2 down, bottom of the 4th. No score in this ball game yet.
Well, the heart and soul of the Phillies ball club is still out with an injury, Darren Dahl. He was the leader on this club. Take charge, catcher, and could do it all. Throw, catch, hit, drive in a lot of runs.
And Schilling having his physical problems this year. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. That'll be the 3rd strikeout in the game for Brett Saberhagen. On the Modell scoreboard after 4, there is no score.
Show your colors with the Mets MasterCard from Chemical Bank. If you have one, use it. If not, call 1-800-233-METS to apply.
Out here, then here, but can't get there. How do you break through the barriers and get closer to the Mets? Simple. Watch the show that takes you inside the Mets. Modell's Inside Pitch. Fridays on Sportschannel.
The fine manager of the Philadelphia Phillies, Jim Fregosi. Former all-star shortstop with the California Angels.
Of course, this ball club isn't falling apart with injuries. Dave Hollins was a key injury also for this club.
They've had a bundle of them. Jeff Kent leads off the 5th. No score. Hard ground ball. Tough play. Nice by Mariano Duncan. And he gets Kent, the leadoff hitter here in the 5th. That was not an easy play.
Good reaction by Duncan to get that glove up there and make the play. That's a good shot right there. Here's that play again. He backs up. He gloves it. And, of course, strong arm across the infield.
It's, I think, a little more difficult when you're a guy who has been mostly a shortstop and a second baseman, and you play deep most of the time, to come in and play a position where, not on that ball, but on a lot of balls, you have to be even with the bag. You're close.
Yeah, and playing shortstop, you're usually charging everything. Right there at third base, it's a reaction position. You better have quick reactions or you'll get killed down there. Dave Hollins was the regular third baseman for the Phillies. Now they're talking about moving him to right field, but he's not happy with it.
Line drive over the second baseman's head by Segui. So after striking out the first at bat, he goes the other way, and it's a rope for a base hit.
What happened was Dave Hollins was picked up in a Rule 5 draft. He had some fine seasons with the Phillies. Now, it's an interesting story. He hurt himself, hurt his hand against the Mets, and also played with this injury. Consequently started having throwing problems to first base. So what happens? The Phillies started pulling him out of the game late in the game for defense.
Ryan Thompson at the plate, swing and a miss, strike 1.
When you think about it, you have to wonder, should he have played hurt? They tell players you got to learn to play hurt, but in this case, it hurt Hollins to the point where the Phillies said, we're going to move him to right field. The way he found out was Bill Giles was being interviewed and mentioned it. Nobody had told Dave Hollins.
Line shot, base hit. So for the second time, Ryan Thompson hits the ball hard off West. First and second, one out. And Jeremy Burnett's coming to the plate.
We're talking about Dave Hollins. He was a key to some successful teams here in Philadelphia. Reminded a lot of people here in Philly of Howard Johnson, switch hitter, tough player, hard-nosed.
Yeah, a real tough battle, both hands in the last 2 years. He's had to have the hook of the hamate removed. That's tough. I had it myself in 1972. It's not easily done. You have to go in and actually have an operation. Burnitz pops it up out of play. Strike one. Fans Miss Baseball is brought to you by your local Subaru dealer, who invites you to test drive an all-wheel drive Subaru today. Burnitz down on strikes in his initial at bat. David West. 4 strikeouts, and although he has had control problems, he has yet to walk a batter in this ball game. Down in the dirt. What a play by Lieberthal.
That's a tough play. That ball is thrown so hard into the dirt. You know it's going to be skipping rather than that true hop. Watch this ball skip, comes up, and Lieberthal does what he had to do. He had to get the chest protector and utilize that chest protector. Fine play by the young catcher. He was their #1 draft pick a couple years ago, 3rd in the country, and they consider him a good defensive catcher so far in the major leagues. Jury's still out in his offense.
1-1. Popped up. Will it stay in the playing field? Over by the dugout? No. A ball and 2 strikes. So a break for Jeremy Burnitz. As we told you, West has been incredibly tough on left-handed batters. This is a souvenir. How about that youngster? Must have good hands, that young to snag that one, huh? One ball, 2 strikes. No score in this game. Phillies looking for a double play ball. The ball bounces away this time from Lieberthal. And Segui goes to 3rd, Thompson to 2nd. We'll see how they call that. Looked like he just didn't catch it.
And Darren Dalton, we talked about him earlier, fine catcher. Here's that last pitch. The ball is, looks like it crossed him up.
Yeah.
I hope it crossed him up because he looked like the ball hit the back of the glove.
He didn't really turn the glove around to make the play.
He didn't talk with Dave West. Maybe there's just so much ball movement right there that he handcuffed him.
It fooled him. So runners now at 2nd and 3rd. At 1st and 3rd for the Phillies defensively. They're in. Ground ball to second base. A run will score. And that's a big thing to put in your mind. Jeremy Burnitz made contact. They were conceding a run. He drives in a run. The Mets take the lead because he made contact.
And Brett Saberhagen, the scheduled batter. So Jeremy Burnitz getting the job done against a tough left-hander. And driving in the run.
There's good outs and bad outs. That was a good out. Saberhagen will get a chance to drive in his 2nd run of the season. Fly ball, foul, strike 1.
In watching David West throw, he's got to be uncomfortable to catch. We talked about his walk, so therefore that's an indication he's out of the strike zone wild. He throws hard. You mentioned his good fastball. He has a nasty slider. But if you're not in the strike zone, you're tough to catch.
Just a little bit low to Saberhagen. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I could see a guy like David West making a good receiver, a guy that's all of a sudden grabbing for the ball, not waiting for the ball to come to him. He would become anxious as a catcher.
Saberhagen holds off, and it's out of the strike zone. 2 balls and 1 strike. The Montreal Expos, winning 19 of their last 21, have taken over a gigantic lead in this National League East. 6 games ahead of the Atlanta Braves. Missing a game. 3-1. This might be a good time for the take. Don't swing at something bad. Saberhagen says nothing doing. It's a fly ball. Eisenreich has it. That will end the inning. Mets get on the scoreboard with a run. After 4.5 on the Modell scoreboard, Mets lead the Phillies 1-0.